والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So we're on chapter 40. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله باب مولى القوم من أنفسهم. So we spoke about this yesterday. The mawla is a free slave, and we said if the person is if a people they free the slave, then he is considered from amongst those people, their freedom. So he's considered one of those people, because the hadith that we took yesterday which is the hadith of Ibn Umar, which is a hadith that is not authentic, but I mean just the wording of the hadith was he was asking the person to explain, are you from the Mawali or are you from the actual people of Bani Tamim? And he said from min mawalihim. So he got angry and he said, well, will you not just say that you're from the freed people of Bani Tamim and not the actual Bani Tamim? But this part of the hadith, it goes to show that the person, if the person is freed, if these people from this tribe, one of these people go and free a slave, then the person gets his freedom, or he helps him buy his freedom, and at this point he takes on the family name of the people that helped him get his freedom. So حدثنا عمرو بن خالد قال حدثنا زهير قال حدثنا عبد الله بن عثمان قال أخبرني إسماعيل بن عبيد مجهول. The hadith is, this chain of narration is da'if, but there are shawahid for the hadith, so the hadith is hasan. Alright, عن أبيه عبيد عن رفاعة ابن رافع رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لعمر رضي الله عنه اجمع لي قومك فجمعهم فلما حضروا باب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل عليه عمر فقال قد جمعت لك قومي فسمع ذلك الأنصار فقالوا قد نزل في قريش الوحي فجاء المستمع والناظر ما يقال لهم فخرج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقام بين أظهرهم فقال هل فيكم من غيركم؟ قالوا نعم فينا حليفنا وابن أختنا وموالينا. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حليفنا منا وابن أختنا منا وموالينا منا وأنتم تسمعون إن أوليائي منكم المتقون فإن كنتم أولئك فذاك وإلا فانظروا لا يأتي الناس بالأعمال يوم القيامة وتأتون بالأثقال فيعرض عنكم. ثم نادى فقال يا أيها الناس ورفع يديه يضعهما على رؤوس قريش أيها الناس إن قريش أهل أمانة من بغى بهم. قال زهير أظنه قال العواثر كبه الله لمنخريه يقول ذلك 3 مرات. A lot going on in this hadith. Alright, so like I said, the hadith, what did Shaykh al-Albani say about the hadith?
Hasan.
Yes, Hasan bi-shawahidihi.
And he also put it in the Sahih.
Yeah, but it's Hasan bi-shawahidihi, but it's not Hasan, not from this chain of narration.
And is da'if. See, look, on the bottom right there.
What's that?
The Sahih and is da'if. So I think
this chain of narration is da'if, but there are other shawahid, for this hadith. So the hadith right now is, it will be Hasan because of the shawahid, but the actual chain of narration for it is weak because of Ismail ibn Ubaid. Where's your book at? Oh, you didn't bring it? It's in the car then, or what? Where? Hello. ما تريد لماذا ما كلمت له؟ كان بيأخذه لك. ايش؟ هو مش موجود هنا. Allah. Alright. So here we have the hadith reported on the authority of Rifa'at ibn Rafi' radiyallahu anhu. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Umar, "Ijma' li qawmak." He said, "Gather together your people." Now, who's he talking about?
your tribe.
Who's his tribe? Who's his people?
Quraish.
Quraish. So he said, "Gather together all of Quraish."
What does that have to do with what?
فَلَمَّا حَضَرُوا. So when they gathered, when they got to the door of the Prophet ﷺ and they entered, دخل عليه عمر, and Umar entered first. وقال جمعت لك قومي, I've gathered together all of my people. فسمع ذلك الأنصار. So the Ansar, alright, and who are the Ansar?
I know the answer. The ones who gave bay'ah to the Prophet ﷺ that they.
And what tribes are they from? Because this is from the people of Omar, Quraish. And who are the Ansar?
Bani Aus. Aus.
and Khazraj. Yeah. All right. Aus wal Khazraj. Yeah. All right. So he said, فَسَمِعَ ذَلِكَ الْأَنصَارُ. So the Ansar, they heard about this gathering, this meeting. فَقَالُوا قَدْ نَزَلَ فِي قُرَيْشِ الْوَحْيِ. And they said that the revelation has come down about Quraysh, and that the Prophet ﷺ wanted to speak to them because he gathered them all together. فَجَاءَ الْمُسْتَمِعْ وَنَاظِرْ. So, وَعَلَيْكُمْ السَّلَامُ وَرَحْمَةُllahi وَبَرَكَاتُهُ. Al-Mustami', it means what?
The one who is listening.
Yeah, the one's listening attentively. All right, not just listening, because just listening is a sami'. Anybody that listens is a sami', but al-mustami' is the person who's listening attentively. All right, وَنَاظِرْ, what?
The ones who are looking.
Yeah, so the ones who are listening attentively and the ones who are looking, all the people gathered together. مَا يُقَالُ لَهُمْ, and they're all waiting just to see what the Prophet ﷺ is going to say to them. All right, where you going? Oh, come on, man. Sit with us, Akhi.
I'm not going to.
All right, so فخرج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, so the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم left. فقام بين أظهرهم, and then he stood up right in between them, right? فقال هل فيكم من غيركم, and he said, is there anybody else amongst you that's not basically from you, from Quraish, like directly from Quraish? He said, قالوا نعم, and they said yes. فينا حليفنا وابن أختنا وموالينا. So they mentioned three people that are mixed in with them, that they brought with them to that city. They said حليفنا, and who are the halif? Who are the hulafa? These are the allies, the people that are allied with Quraysh. Like they've the tribes from before that they're allied with Quraysh. Like, you protect us and we'll protect you. So these are the hulafa, the halif. And the halif is the one that's your allies, the people that you are allied with. I don't care about questions right now. What? Which masjid? Wait until after the... Tell you, I'll answer any questions after we finish the hadith, inshallah. Right now the Prophet ﷺ, his hadith has more importance than questions right now. All right, so he said, first off he said, وَحَلِيفُنَا, and halifuna are allies. All right, and so the tribe is allied with us, because obviously they're not from Quraysh, but they're allied with them. He said, وَإِبْنَ أُخْتِنَا, all right, and the son of our sisters. All right, why did he mention Ibn Ukhtina? Our nephews from our sisters. But what's the importance about this?
I think the shahid is showing importance.
Well, I mean, that's not the shahid of the hadith, but what I'm saying, what does that mean? Why did he say that? The shahid of the hadith is the last part. Because the ukht, she's going to get married, and she might get married to somebody from another tribe. So her son, which is going to be your nephew, he's going to follow the lineage of who? Of his father. So if he's from a different tribe, then the son of your sister will be from a different tribe. So if you're from like Quraish, and let's say that your sister gets married from Bani Tamim, her son is going to be from what? From Bani Tamim. He's not going to be from Quraish. So that's why he said, وَإِبْنَ أُخْتِنَا وَإِبْنَ أُخْتِنَا مِنَّا. Well, no, he didn't say that. Not that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. We said Ibn Ukhtina. So he mentioned them because they're not, if they get married from a different tribe, they're not going to be from the same people. All right, but if he got married from the family, then obviously it would be the same. All right. Wa mawalina. All right, and the mawalina are our free slaves. So all three of these were included with Quraysh, that they brought them all together. So they brought their allies, they brought their nephews from their sisters, which, and then they brought their free slaves all together to listen to what the Prophet ﷺ was going to say. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Halifuna minna, that our allies are from us. And he's talking about Quraysh. Wa ibn ukhtina minna, and he said, and our nephews from our sisters are from us, from Quraysh. Wa mawalina minna, and this is the shahid of the hadith. And our free slaves are from us. They are what? That they are all of these people they take from, like they are in line with us as far as connection and lineage and family, and consider like family. So even the free slaves were considered like what? Family. It's a family, because they take the same lineage, and there's a tawaruf. What happened?
كلهم like we have a room, a shower. كلهم covered. صح. So we wait.
No, we gotta wait to get permission. I mean, let's deal with that later, inshallah. Wait. All right. So mawalina minna, wa antum tasma'un, and you all you hear. Inna awliya'i minkum al-muttaqun, and he said, and you all hear me. That my close the people that I keep close to me are who? Al-muttaqun, the people of taqwa, not the people because he's saying basically I don't keep you next to me or near me as friends and close companions because of your lineage, because of who you are. He said the people that are closest to me are what? The people of taqwa, and this is the reality, and this should be our relations. This is the guidance of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we keep people around us because of their people of taqwa, not because of their, oh, we're from the same family. How many shayateen do we have in our families? In fact, probably the shayateen in our families are probably more than the salihin. I mean, and then most of us are like me, my whole family is not even Muslim, so you forget all of that. So the point is that, you know, we don't just keep companions around us or close people around us because of families or because we grew up in the same block or grew up in the same neighborhood. We keep people around us because of taqwa, because of what? That I can remind him and he can remind me, and we can enjoin the good and forbid the evil together. And those are the types of companions and the people that you want around you. You don't want people around you just simply because of what? Some connection like this. Okay, y'all grew up together. You went to the same school together. You know, but now you've gone off and veered off into two different paths. You've gone to Ashab al-Yamin and he's gone to Ashab al-Shimal. You've gone to, like, you know, wanting good, and you're trying to become righteous. And then what does this person become to you? It becomes a weight, like a dead weight, pulling you down, trying to pull you back. And this is what we talked about before, is you got these people, they want to weigh you down and pull you back into Jahiliyyah because they know you. The only thing that they don't know about you is they know that what you were. And in their eyes, you can never change. They know you like that. This is you. You were the guy that was out on the street. You were the guy that was doing all this type of fawahish. Now you made tawbah. Now you want to get away from that. But these people, they pull you back and they weigh you down. And that's why you have to cut those types of companions off and keep the people around you, the people of taqwa. You know, and these good, and this is, by the way, going to be the khutbah for this week. Inshallah. So you're already getting a warm up, you know, for the khutbah, right? But so I mean, this is the, you know, the greatest guidance, you know, the guidance of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as you see, you know, minkum inna awliya'i minkum al-muttaqun, fa in kuntum ulaika fadhak. And if you're from them, if you're from the muttaqin, then you know, then you're from, you know, what is he saying? He's saying, then you're from my awliya, you're from the people that I hold dear, you know, dear to me. If you're from that sense, from that type of people, فذاك وإلا فانظروا. Well, he said, but if you're not, then you need to look. Like,
what was that?
It's an explosion, but I don't know if it's a big firecracker.
No, it's not a firework. I know a firework.
Go check outside. No. You remain safe. روح شوف خارج. شوف فين الانفجار هذا. No, but it is getting kind of close to July, so I don't know. شوف لو أنت ترى الدخان أو أي شيء طيب. It could be. I mean, we got gas lines. I mean, everything here is gas. So I mean, that's. So he said, فانظروا لا يأتي الناس بالأعمال يوم القيامة. You know, don't let the people, like, you know, the people come on the day of judgment with a'mal, with actions, with righteous actions. وَتَأْتُونَ بِالْأَثْقَالِ, and you come with burdens. Because why? You disobeyed Allah. You disobeyed His messenger. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You wasted your time. You wasted your time in this life. So the people, they come on the day of judgment, they don't have these connections. They're not from Quraish. They're not from these big tribes, but they came with righteous actions. And you guys, you're from Quraish. You're from, you know, one of the best tribe, the most purest tribes of the Arabs, but you come with nothing but burdens on the day of judgment. And it becomes a destruction for you. You know, so he's showing, you know, everything goes back to what? It goes back to taqwa, you know. But I mean, here at the same time, you see that we have from the ahadith from before, what we have? We have al-hath, you know, al-hadd, you know what, you know, al-hath al-ansab, right? To like protect your lineage and to know your lineage, but at the same time, not to allow that to deceive you. Not to just think that because, oh, I have this lineage and I'm from these people, that, oh, khalas, and I'm ma'asum, I'm like, protected and I'm going to go to Jannah. No, you're going to go to Jannah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and nobody has a better lineage than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His lineage is the purest lineage. And he's also the same one who said what? La yadkhulu, jannatu ahadakum bish. Bi'amali. That nobody from amongst you is going to go into Jannah based on what? Based on his actions. And what did they say to him? Wala anta ya Rasulullah, not you, O Messenger of Allah. He said, Wala ana. He said, not even me. Illa yataghammadani Allah bi rahmatin minhu wa fadl. Shuf the shay. Told you, Mike, because maybe it's a big fireworks, because it's a baseball game or something. You never know. So he said, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses me with his mercy and his bounties. So we have to look at this. This is, and where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said in the hadith, man batta'a bihi amalahu wish lam yusri' bihi nasabuhu. So whoever is slow to act, whoever's slow in doing actions of righteous actions, his lineage is not going to make up for his lack of actions on the day of judgment. So don't think that you're going to come on the day of judgment and say, well, boy, you can't punish me. I'm from Bani Fulan. That does not matter anymore. Bani Fulan sitting there cursing each other the whole time on the, as soon as they get up out the graves. The righteous people, they're cool. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentioned that in the Quran. He said what? Where did he mention that? الأخلاء بعضهم أخلاء يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. All right, so here that all the close people are enemies to one another except for the people of taqwa. Except for the people of what? Taqwa. They're going to come out. So these people of shar and the people of the dunya and the people of the ones that just follow their desires, they're going to come out and they're going to be cursing the people that they follow. The people that they say led them astray. No, you led yourself astray. But don't think just because you're not acting and that your lineage is going to make up for something. No, the Prophet ﷺ already warned you about that. Man, batta'a bihi amalu, lam yusri' bihi nasabuhu. It's not going to come to your aid. All right. So he said, فإن كنتم أولئك فذاكوا إلى فانظروا لا يأتي الناس بالأعمال يوم القيامة وتأتون بالأثقال فيعرض عنكم, and you get, and you're turned away from. فيعرض عنكم, like خلاص, like you're going to be tossed off in the hellfire because what? فيعرض عنكم, like there's going to be no attention shown to you on the day of judgment. ثم نادى, and then he called فقال أيها الناس, O people, ورفع يديه, and then he raised his hands, يضعهما على رؤوس قريش, and he put them on the what? He raised up his hands and he put them on what? On the heads of the people of Quraish. أيها الناس إن قريش أهل أمانة من بغى بهم. Alright, so he said that the Quraysh is the people of what? Of Ahl Amana, which means what? Yeah, they're trustworthy. That they fulfill the Amana. They fulfill all their trust. Anything that they're entrusted with, they fulfill. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has singled them out for what?
Giving them security and feeding them.
No, not that. I'm talking about the Khilafah. As far as the Khilafah is only for Quraysh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala singled them out for certain characteristics that He created them with. That He knows them. And then Khilafah for Quraysh. So ma zala hada amr for Quraysh. This is the amr here that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is referring to is what? Al-Khilafah, the leadership role. So the only person that can be a rightful Khalifa is a person from who? Quraysh. From Quraysh, not from Britain, not from Houston, not from any of these places. The people from it has to be a Qurayshi. Qurayshi is the only person that can be the Khalifa. All right, because of these. But this is a person who follows the Quran and the Sunnah. So these characteristics that just like when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about Ahl al-Yaman, He said, atakum Ahl al-Yaman. وأنهم أرق الأفئدة وألين القلوب. That they have the softest and the most fragile of hearts. But these are for the people that are what? That follow the Deen, that follow the Quran and the Sunnah. Because as we know, what does disobedience do to your heart? Hardens it. Yeah, it doesn't make it أرق القلوب. It doesn't make it ألين القلوب. And then he said that hikmah. He said what? Hikmatul Yaman. Well, iman what? Yeah. Is it that way or the other way? Yeah. And the hikmatun yaman wal iman yamaniya, you know. So the wisdom is from Yemen, and what iman is from is Yemeni, you know, is like, you know, back to Yemen. But these are for the people that follow the deen. So you can't have a mukhazzin who sit here and he prays 5 salawat altogether, oversleeps Fajr, never prays in the masjid, never reads the Quran, and he's talking about, Ya akhi, ana Yemeni, hikmat al-Yaman. No, it's like, come on, ya akhi, ittaqillah. That is for the people of taqwa. That's for the people that follow the guidance. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created these characteristics in them. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned those characteristics. But those characteristics will only come out for what? For the people who follow the correct guidance. So the same thing for Quraish. If you have a Quraishi who's following the correct guidance, and of course that's, you know, the Mahdi. Where is he going to be from? He's from from Ahl al-Bayt. Yeah, so yes, I mean, yeah, technically yes, he's from Quraish, from Hashim, Hashimi Quraishi. So I mean, because the Prophet ﷺ said, al-Mahdi minna, or he said al-Mahdi minni, yuwafiqu ismi. واسم أبيه اسم أبي. So he said, he has the same name as me and the same father's name. So the Mahdi's name is going to be what? Muhammad ibn Abdullah, not all these other names. You see all these Mahdi people that came out and they're like all these different names, Yeah, it's funny, man. I'm the Mahdi, and my name is Mahmoud ibn Saleh. It's like, come on, dude, go read the hadith, ya akhi. Allah musta'an. But anyway, so he said, Man bagha bihim. So whoever transgresses against them, against who? Against Quraysh. قال زهير أظنه قال الأواثر. Alright, al-awafir is like a hadd al-sayyid. Like hudu, like he's just gonna, like bad, he's just gonna get bad. Like whoever goes and transgresses against them, he'll have like a bad, hadd, basically. Kabbahu Allahu li min khirayhi. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will flip him over, and the minkhar is what? What is the minkhar? The holes in your nose. The holes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala flip him over on his nose, like on, to basically like disgrace him. Yaqulu dhalik thalatha murat, and he said this 3 times. So obviously the shahid of the hadith, it goes back to what? Basically like disgrace him. Oh, the sound is fine. It's loud, but yeah, it's fine. So he said this 3 times. So but the shahid of the hadith, it goes back to what? Mawalina minna. And the people that we have freed, they are from us. They're our family. They're considered our family. So yes. So you see the type of behavior of Islam. And way before these kuffar started talking about this human rights that they talk about and all the type of stuff that they talk about. You see that Islam, we've seen this over and over and over, the rights that Islam gives to the parents. The rights that Islam gave to free slaves. Like, can you imagine in this time, 1400 years ago, that free slaves were becoming ulama and being held in the highest regard in society? And then these kuffar didn't get the picture until what? Much. Then they come along, hundreds of years later and try to take credit and try to make it look like they're the ones that did everything. Now, you look at the rights that Islam gave to the women. Go study, if you study fara'id, and you see the rights that, these rights weren't even given to the women before. There was no justice in any of the rights given to the people. But you see that Islam came and gave the people these rights, and gave the people their rights based on what? I mean, number one, based on like the rights that the person, but the how can I say this? The people that got held in the high esteem and got held in high regard in those days were people of taqwa, people of knowledge, people of action, people of khair. It doesn't matter where you came from. No matter where you came from. So you could be from the lowest of lineages, but if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you knowledge, Allah raised that person up with the knowledge. And you can see so many stories from the Salaf that they didn't come from a noble background. They came from a very, 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 very low background. Allah raised them up with knowledge and raised them up with righteous actions. And that's the only way that any of us are going to get raised up properly. You know, if you think that you're going to get raised up because of some dunya possessions that you have, or for some foolishness like this, then you're dead wrong. You're gonna face a lot of regret and a lot of sadness in this life and the next.
Law degree.
What's the questions?
Real quick, because this is about the hadith. When it comes to the Mawla, like for example, let's say Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he freed someone. Can that Mawla, and let's say he's not from Quraish, but can the Mawla say after Umar freed him, was he able to say, Ana Qurashi?
They didn't used to say that though. They used to say Mawla Quraish or Mawla Omar or Mawla ibn Omar. Like Nafi', if you look him up in the biographies, they'll say Nafi' Mawla ibn Omar. They always tie him into the person that freed him. So Abdullah ibn Omar freed him, but Abdullah ibn Omar treated him like family. And that's why you see like Nafi' was with Abdullah ibn Omar all the time. That's why you see how many hadiths that he narrated from Abdullah ibn Umar. So look at how Allah raised up Nafi' from the status that he was in, and he raised him up with knowledge, with iman, with righteous actions. That shows you what this is all about. This is not about lineage, and this is not about money. Wallah, even the brokest person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take that person broke is no joke, right? And can't even barely pay his bills, but Allah will raise him up above all the richest of the rich. Raise him up above everybody with this knowledge. This knowledge is a ni'mah, akhi. This is sharaf. This is nobility. This is the real nobility. Everybody's talking about all that garbage, like the basketball players and the rappers and the actors. Oh, he's a legend. He's a legend. Legend of what? A real legend. Like we're talking about real nobility. It's through knowledge. It's through righteous actions about the people getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's real nobility. That's real sharaf. That's real, you really want to be Nabil and you really want to be Sharif. That's where you get it from. You don't get it from no status in this dunya. Well, like anything that you get in this dunya and you try to raise yourself in the dunya, it's just going to be a matter of time before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drops you on your head. And that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Hakun Allah and la what? And la yaratafa' shay fi dunya ila wash. Ila wada'ahu Allah. That nothing is raises itself up, He tries to raise himself up and tries to give himself status. For what? Like these jokers online. Oh, look how many likes I'm getting. Look how many subscribers I'm getting. So that makes you a good person. That makes you noble. That's where you get your nobility from. This is what you get your status as a human being from somebody giving a thumbs up on a YouTube channel. This is sickness. This is foolishness. And it's just a matter of time before that person gets what? Dropped. And you see it all the time. Look at like all these athletes and actors and all these famous celebrities that were at the peak of what they were, and then just bam, just dropped out of existence. And even to the point where so many of them, if you even hear their name, people cringe. Look what happens to them. You can't. This is not, this is about the akhirah. This is not about this dunya and trying to get status for the sake of getting status in this dunya. That's not going to benefit you nothing. You don't even know how long you're going to enjoy it. You could be famous for one day and die tomorrow. Or all your fame could even come like, you sit there and work for your fame. How many people did that? They they're ready to sell their souls for anything just to get famous for even an hour. And then they died and they got killed or something happened to them, and then what happens? All of a sudden they get super famous after their deaths. They don't even get to enjoy it in their lives. What type of khizyun is this? That's disgrace. That's not ikram. That's not karama. That's disgrace. Like you don't even get to see what you work for in the dunya. You never even get to see the results of it.
Do you know who Fetty Wap is?
Who?
So back in 2016 and 2017, there's a very his album. He released an album and it just broke the media. It went very, very famous. Well, 3 years later, it's no one was speaking about him no more. He just.
That happens all the time.
He was trying to get back famous, but I remember when I was in middle school, when I was in 6th, 7th grade, he was the most famous person in America. If you want to say 4 years on the line, like no one remembers him. Like, khalas, he's done. Right?
Yeah, and he's probably working at Amazon right now. I mean, that's just the reality. So, and there's nothing wrong if he wants to work. He's making money. He's working and making money. There's nothing shameful about that. You know, working, paying your bills. But I'm just saying, you know, like that's the end of it. You know, you see a lot of these rappers, akhi, they end up like what? You know, they get famous for a little bit. Next thing you know, he's out, you know, at a job agency trying to get a job. So,
Even King B Raw. He
who?
was another rapper. But I told you, like when I was in middle school, extremely famous, like extremely famous. And then high school, when I was in high, like he went away. He didn't get famous no more, and he died back in 2022. And I didn't even know he died. Like that shows like the media is like just move on. They don't care.
They don't. They're gonna look for the next thing. You're not the next thing. They're gonna get rid of you, and they don't care. So I'm saying, so you're sitting there like living your life to please people that could care less about you. That's stupid. That's a waste. And then you wake up in your grave and realize how much you just wasted. Like literally, how much you really just wasted. Huh?
Taking questions down.
I don't know what you got.
This one says.
If it's about questions about alarm clocks, no, you can keep that. He knows what I'm talking about. Somebody sitting there writing questions talking about like what's the best alarm clock to wake up. Come on, man, go somewhere else with that. There was a question that the brother had yesterday. Remember, he asked about Muqatil and the other guy, Muhammad ibn Karram. So how do we deal with them? They're from Ahl al-Kalam. So I went and read about him. Muhammad ibn Karram, he's the starter of the Karramiyah. And they're the people that took actions. Basically, they're the murjia, right? So they were the ones that said that, you know, that it's enough that a person has iman for qalb. You know, that's it. That you have only belief in your heart and you're a mu'min, khalas. You know, no matter what the person does, you know, and he can do acts of kufr. But as long as he has the iman in his heart, this is aqidah is batila. Because as we know from aqidah to Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, is that what? The iman is what? قول باللسان. Well, before that.
الإيمان بالقلب قول باللسان
والعمل بالجوارح يزيد وينقص يزيد بالطاعة وينقص بالمعصية. So it's a belief in the heart, it's an action, and it's a statement of the tongue, and it's actions with the limbs. All three of these things have to go together for iman. You can't just sit there and say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I believe this in my heart, but I never pray, I never fast, I never do any righteous actions, and I go out and I drink and I have girlfriends, but I have this belief in my heart. Yeah, you know, this keeps me as a mu'min. No, you're a faster. Or if he's not praying and not doing this, then he's not even a Muslim. So it doesn't matter about your belief in your heart. You have to have, there's lawazim, there's actions, there's things that have to come with that iman. There has to be actions. If you just say, I have belief in my heart, and you don't have actions to back it up, then you don't have iman. Because if you truly had iman, what? You would have acted. You would have obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would have obeyed his messenger. How are you going to sit there and like, you know, so that's Muhammad ibn Karram. Muqatil was from the Mufassirin. And if you go in Sirah Alam al-Nubala and you read his Tarjama, nobody had anything good to say about him. He was from the big people of tafsir. None of his hadith was rejected flat out. Even Bukhari said, and he laysa bi shay al-batta, like ever. He's never nothing. He'll never be anything. You know, so it's like for Bukhari to say that about a person, and then even other people said he's like Adab. So I mean, those types of people, we don't. How do you deal with them? You don't deal with them because they're not from the tariq of the Salaf. So they're from Ahl al-Kalam, from the Murjia, and from all this other. So we don't deal with them. You know, we leave that. Any other questions?
Yes. Here talks about if one wanted to go to Fresno for the lessons. Will the masjid allow a man to stay there for a week or so? And does the masjid have a shower? And would that be suitable? Women also do that?
I don't know about the women.
I'm assuming like if he has a wife, can he bring his wife?
Well, no, the wife, I don't know. I mean, they let people there's a lot of people that travel through and they stay in the masjid for days. You know, they come and they get permission. So you just, you know,
This one says, hello, Adam. It says, like, Nike comes from a fake goddess. Can we wear something that's
no,
Nike?
you should not wear Nike ever.
Hmm.
And even, I think if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was a statement of Sheikh Yahya, Allah yahfadhu. He said, except for the shoes. But I'm not sure if Sheikh Yahya said that or somebody else said it. Because the shoes, you're stepping on it. But he said, as far as wearing anything like a shirt, a hat, or anything that does like, you know, would like do ithar, and not, because here you're like tadaso, you know, so it's like, you know, it's actually kind of disrespectful if you're wearing it as shoes. But I would say even the shoes, because the thing about it is people when they wear those shoes, what do they wear them with? Ta'lim, you know, like, you know, because they're like, these are Nikes. And Nike is a goddess, you know, it's a Greek goddess that they used to worship, that they used to call on, you know, it's the goddess of victory. So all of this stuff, and even like the shush or whatever they call that, is the wing of this goddess. So this is yeah, it should be avoided. It should not be worn because that's, you know, it's how to shirk, you know. There's plenty of other clothes that you can wear without wearing Nike, you know. So alhamdulillah.
It says, can you give advice on how to manage anger?
And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the person what? If you're standing, what?
Sitting.
Sit. If you're sitting, what?
Lay down.
Lay down. And if somebody's annoying you, get away from the person. See, most of the things that cause a person not to get, you know, not to be able to control their anger is what? It's just stubbornness. You know, if somebody's annoying you and saying something stupid to you, just leave. You know, you don't have to, you know, but, you know, stubborn people, they feel like I have to respond. Oh, he's disrespecting me. He's disrespecting himself. He's acting like a fool. So now, do you think that you're going to get back at him for disrespecting you by what? Acting like a fool too, and getting angry and losing your cool, and then losing your demeanor and losing the way that you act and not being able to control yourself? I'm sorry, is he okay? Yeah, that was funny. I'm sorry, but as long as he's okay, if he's hurt, it wasn't funny. It's very, very sad to watch that happen. But if he's not hurt, that was the funniest thing I've seen. He jumped up like a frog and didn't know that the chair was right there. And when he jumped, he turned around and jumped like a frog, and his head just went straight into the chair. Like I just looked up and I just saw boom. Like,
That's the problem. Like, finally.
oh, he hit that chair hard, boy. That's why you see he went down.
You know, and that's they were going to war earlier. I had to break it apart. Well, I had to break it apart.
Yeah, they've been fighting every day for the last week. So, what we want to talk about now?
You said
I lost my train of thought, huh?
people they want to respond stubbornness to stubbornness.
Yeah, stop being stubborn, man. If somebody's annoying you, leave them. Leave them. You don't have to respond to a fool. In fact, you know, honoring yourself is what? The honorable approach is to not respond to a person who's a fool. Yeah. Yeah. We don't go out, we don't sit here and like entertain ignorant people. If a person wants to be ignorant, you can be ignorant. Go yell at your mirror or something, you know, but you just leave. That's honor. You know, but you lower yourself and with that stubbornness and respond to a fool, then that's all it's going to do is increase you in anger. If that's assuming that's what you're getting angry over. If the other stuff is because of impatience and stuff like that, well, you just, you know, have to like do some isti'ana billah, you know, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you patience. You know.
This is regarding the question from yesterday. He didn't type it right. I mean, he didn't type it right, so we can't understand a question if it's not typed right.
Oh, what is it now?
This is if there is a course that you have to pay for.
Didn't I answer this question yesterday?
انت ما فهمته. وكان يسأل إذا مثلا زي الفوتبول إذا هو لازم تدفع له واحد يصوره ويطرح في اليوتيوب وهو ما دفع يعني بس يشير من يوتيوب هل هذا حلال؟
He's stealing it.
زي مثلا أنت تحتاج تدفع عشان تشاهد فوتبول فالآن واحد يفعله في اليوتيوب مجانا هو public.
No. One, because number one, it's not permissible because you're doing the ta'awun ala ithmi wal udwan. You know, you're not taking, you know, durus or lessons and things like this and sharing them. You're sharing things that are going to waste people's time. Anything. You're talking about a course.
نعم بس أنا قلت لك فوتبول عشان تفهم مثلا.
He takes an Islamic course that you pay money and he puts it up on the internet for free without that person's permission. No, you shouldn't do that, man.
Is it permissible for a woman to wear?
A lot of these types of questions, man, the people can answer them themselves, so they know it's wrong. You know it's wrong. You know, what did the Prophet ﷺ say about the ithm? What did he say about the sin? In the hadith of Sahih Muslim, he said that the ithm ma haka fi sadr wa karahta an what? And yattala alayhi nas. That's not the hadith in Sahih Muslim. Look it up. Now, I think that is the hadith in Sahih Muslim. Al-itham ma haka fi sadr.
The sadr or fi nafs?
The sadr or fi nafs, but there's a sadr. Look him, either put up sadr and see what. Yeah, I understand, man. There's a lot of times there's like 10 different narrations of the hadith. I remember one time I put up like qadrullahi wa ma sha'a fa'al. Somebody put a comment. It's qadrullahu wa ma sha'a fa'al. I was like, yeah, go look at the narration in Sahih Muslim. Then he went and looked, I gave him the hadith number in Sahih Muslim. And he looked at it, oh, okay, I didn't know. Yeah, there's different narrations. You find it? What? Did you go to Sheikh bin Baz's website?
It's there.
No, man, go to Durr Rakhi. I want the takhrij of the hadith. I want the sahabi. I'm not going to get that from the Sheikh bin Baz's website because he's giving fatwa. So he does it every time, doesn't he? He was on Sheikh bin Baz's website. Which is probably correct because he might have gone to the explanation of Riyadh al-Salihin. The Sheikh bin Baz, he taught Riyadh al-Salihin, as you know, because he let me borrow it for a couple of months, yes.
They're all Muslim too on Sheikh bin Baz's website.
Yes. All right, so, yes, Sahih Muslim. أقمت مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالمدينة سنة ما يمنعني من الهجرة إلى المسألة كان أحدنا إذا هاجر لم يسأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شيئا قال فسألته عن البر والإثم. So I asked him about righteousness and sin. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم البر حسن الخلق. Righteousness is what?
Good character.
Good character or good morality. Like good character, like obeying Allah and His Messenger. Doing the things you're supposed to do and staying away from the things. But إثم ما حاك في نفسك وكرهت أن يطلع عليه الناس. So yes, it's nafsik. All right. We're here in another narration, but it's outside of Sahih Muslim. No, this is in Sahih Muslim. Al-birru husnul khuluq wal ithmu ma haka fi sadrik wa karahta an yattala alayhi an-nas. See, there you go. You can see that for yourself. So the sin is like, when you do it, there's something, and this is a principle that the Prophet ﷺ has given us for people who are like what? Are not sure, like maybe you don't have knowledge about whether or not this is halal or haram, and you do something and you're not sure about it. So he said what? Al-birr is what? Husnul khuluq, right? Righteousness and good behavior, good character, good morality. So if you know what good morality is, and if you know that what you're doing, it agrees with that, then what? Khalas, you know that this is correct. But al-ithm ma haka fi sadrak. All right, what does it do? It just like it just sits in your chest and it gives you like discomfort, and your chest feels like you feel like something's wrong and you feel like I did something wrong. Khalas, if you're doing something like that, then If you're sitting there and this is still on your mind, like is this right? Then it's wrong. Khalas. I mean, because obviously, and then if you get this type of feeling. And doubt leave that which you doubt for that which you what? Don't doubt. So if you're like sit here like thinking like, okay, is this permissible? If you have to keep going back and forth with yourself about it, then what? Leave it. Just leave it. Why would you do it? Leave it. Khalas. I mean, it's the easiest way to live your life. You know, don't you know? But most of the people, what do? They go and they look for what? Like the permission to do it. Yeah, like show me something that shows that this is halal. And then they want to go from sheikh to sheikh to sheikh to sheikh, mufti shopping or fatawa shopping, just to see like, okay, just I want to find somebody that would tell me that this is okay to do. But you know it's sitting in your chest, so leave it. You don't need to go bouncing around. I mean, if you get the knowledge later on and you see that it's halal or it's haram or it's makruh or it's whatever, you know, you can learn that later. But for now, if you're having that feeling about something, just leave it. It's not, you know.
If there's a ruler, a Muslim ruler, and he's a salih, he's a righteous ruler.
Is this a question or are you making this up?
I'm making it.
Huh?
It was me. But there's a ruler, and he's a practicing ruler, you know. And
Wait, you know, wait. Didn't he say to downstairs yesterday? He said, see, after that's 5. He said yesterday when downstairs was kept asking him the question, he said, read my question, read my question. What did he say to downstairs? He said, tell them they can answer it, they can ask him later on. You can ask me later on. Ask the questions of the people. That's why they got angry. Good. Now you could, huh? For what? For hitting your head?
I made
For doing the frog jump and straight into the chair. That hurt your head, didn't it?
no.
Yeah, it did, boy. You went dizzy for a minute. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, alhamdulillah, you're okay.
Make 2 rakats.
For what?
or one. Can you pray witr right now?
Now, witr after Salat al-Isha, you make 1 rak'ah.
After Isha prayer,
The minimum. Yeah. All right, so any more questions? We'll go to Bulugh al-Maram.
yeah, this is
I make this a lot.
about a woman's dress code.
Mm.
Is it permissible for a woman to wear a push-up top undergarment for her husband? And would this be considered deceiving her husband?
I would advise the husbands to be satisfied with the wife that they have and not where she doesn't have to dress and do the things that these kafirat, that these immoral women are doing, because I don't know what this stuff is, you know. Look, I mean, it's your husband. He knows what you are. He knows who you are. There's no, you know, I'm not saying don't dress up for, you know, brush your hair, look nice, and take care of yourself, but don't feel like you got to do these things that these kuffar are doing to please your husband. And the husband shouldn't want his wife to do these things. You know, no man should want his wife to start doing things that these kuffar are doing to, you know, even if it's in the house, you know, you can't like sit here and dress your wife up as a prostitute in the house and expect her to act like a salihah when she goes outside. You treat her like she's a salihah in the house and she'll act like that when she goes out of the house. But you treat her like, you know, stuff that, you know, a lot of these dudes watch on the internet late into the night. If you treat her like that in the house, what do you think she's going to act like outside of the house? So, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we, you know, the men should be happy with their women the way they are. You married her, she's your wife, she's the mother of your children. Khalas, I mean, the women are going to be women. Women are going to get old. The women are, you know, all that's going to happen to us all. Huh?
My mom left me.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
I want a pizza.
You want a pizza?
I want pizza.
They went from
Oh, yeah, I don't-
mom left to pizza.
He said, my mom left me, now I want pizza.
He every day on Friday he get it.
No, I don't.
I don't know who told you that lie. Because every day on Friday you keep saying, where's the pizza? And there's no pizza.
Why not be none?
Huh?
Why not cook stuff for the
Yeah,
home?
we have a question.
All right, go ahead.
Is it allowed to say Saddam Hussein, rahimahullah?
I can't hear you.
Ask the ulama about that, man. I don't know.
Is it permissible to pirate?
'Cause I don't know, because I was in Yemen the whole time all that stuff was going on. I don't know what happened to him. All this, like him making Toba, I don't know anything about it. So that's something that you go to the ulama that followed up with those types of things, that were in contact with people in Iraq that knew the situation. For me, I was in Yemen. We didn't have a TV. We weren't watching news. I don't know anything. You know, I was in Damaj when America attacked. When the whole September 11th thing happened, I was in Damaj. When America went into Iraq, I was in Damaj. What year did they go into Iraq?
Was it 13?
No, no. It was way before that. Look at it.
أظن عام 2003.
If it was Alfin with Thalatha, I was in Damaj. So I don't know any of this stuff, man. You know.
Oh yeah, March 19, 2003, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. All that stuff I didn't even know what really happened about September 11th until years and years later. I mean, I knew they said planes hit buildings. And I say this very, very, what can I say this? What's the word that I'm going to say? Very skeptically. Planes hit buildings, but whatever, you know, that's their official story. But that's all I know. I didn't see. I mean, we're in the match, you know, so there's no videos. We ain't gonna be seeing no videos. This is way before. There was no internet. There was none of that stuff. So I didn't see any of that stuff until later, years later. And then I remember, I think it was like when the internet started getting like popular in Sana'a. This was like maybe 2008, 2009. Like when they started opening up internet cafes, and I actually saw, I was like, wow, so that's what it looked like. You know, it's like, this is like 7 years after it happened. So I don't know any of this stuff. You gotta ask people that know it, sure.
Buddy Houston, when they were talking about his YouTube channel, the Muslim skeptic.
The only thing that he's skeptical about is Muslims, so.
This one says, do Muslims have to believe that the sun orbits the earth?
كلهم في فلك يسبحون. كلهم في فلك what? يسبحون. He didn't say anything about the earth moving. He said what? So the sun and the moon and the stars and all the kawakib, they're moving, they're in motion. And each one is in a falak, it's in an orbit. And it moves in that orbit and it doesn't go out of that orbit. So
is there so does the earth, according to, does the earth orbit around the sun, or we're just told to believe that in capital?
The earth orbit around the sun. Yeah, that was made up by the people who worship the sun, because they said that the sun is the center of the universe and everything revolves around it. So that's kufr. That's made up by these people that worship the sun. The sun is not the center of the universe. The sun, and the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, what does the sun do when it sets? You know, when it sets in the Maghrib every day, what does it do? Tasjud tahta al-arsh. It goes underneath the arsh and it makes sujood. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders it to go back to what? فَاطْلَعِي مِنْ مَشْرَقِكِ. You know, and until the last days, and then he commands the sun to come up in the Maghrib. You know, so I mean, that shows that the sun is in motion. There's nothing, you know, no evidence. Yeah, jama'ah. The mush makano. Y'all go downstairs and do that. There's nothing. Show me one evidence in the Quran where it says that the earth is in motion. So show me.
Motion or orbit?
In orbit, in motion. That's what I'm saying. In motion.
What about
It didn't say the earth. Where is the earth mentioned in there?
What about kullun?
Kullun min al-kawakib. Yeah, but not, you know, the earth. Where is it mentioned in the earth that is in motion?
Is the earth considered a kawkab?
No.
So a kawkab, what is a kawkab? A planet, right?
Star.
Oh, okay. What's the difference between kawkab and najm?
And the kawkab is a bigger najm. So what a planet is a bigger star. It's not like an actual land mass. If you look at close into a telescope, it's light. It's a big star. It's a bigger star.
This one says, is it permissible to pirate/torrent movies, games, programs, software, images, videos, books, etc. on the internet? I don't know what pirate torrent is.
Pirate means you go on torrent downloads and you go and you steal the stuff. But pirating is when you're going and using it and reselling it. Is that what the person's talking about? Or
I thought they were talking about Somali.
no, again, all that stuff is a contract, you know. So no, you don't. I mean, listen, what are you going to torrent? Are you going to go and torrent download Husari, or you're gonna torrent download, Fath al-Bari, or you torrent. What you're downloading is stuff that's wasting your time and probably not permissible to look at in the first place, right? Probably, yeah.
This one says.
You gotta cover that wound up, man.
This one says, Abba, say, is it allowed to watch documentaries on YouTube where women are providing information? Is the woman's voice halal to listen to? And what about if there's some music playing in the background of information videos?
There you go.
If a man mistreats his wife and she stays, no, it went from English to Arabic. هذه يدي في يدك لا أكتحل بغمضي حتى ترضى.
لا أكتحل. الكهل. What are you talking about?
It says if a man mistreats his wife and she says هذه يدي في يدك لا أكتحل بغمضي حتى ترضى. How should he respond to this? You want to read it?
هذه يدي في يدك لا أكتحل بغمض حتى ترضى. أكتحل is الكهل. بغمض now what the maqsood is here, What's the meaning? What's the intent by saying that? No, I'm telling him to clarify what's the intention behind saying that.
This one says, is the earth flat or round?
Allahu Akbar. I wouldn't say this with pure knowledge, I wouldn't say this with certainty, I wouldn't say this with certainty. But I would say, Yeah, and I would say this, that the people need to go and look at the evidence and decide for themselves. There's a lot of people, they sit there and joke about, these idiots saying the earth is flat. Go look at the evidence before you make that assessment. See, the problem with the majority of the people is they like to just throw off things. Why? Because these kuffar, what they do is they want you to follow their ways, and anything that's not their ways, they make you like they make a mockery of it, So when you sit here and say you say something that's true, that's historical facts, what do they say? Oh, this joker's messing around with conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories, akhi, are you stupid? We read books. This is in their books. Nobody sit here talking about YouTube videos, akhi, but because a lot of these people, they're ignorant and they get all the information from YouTube. So they think that, khalas, that anything that you say, it has to be in this, they got to categorize it like this, So when you start talking about, all these, for example, people might talk about some type of, this is what the government's trying to do. This is the purpose of education. And this is what they're trying to do to make you stupid. And because this is all documented through books. We read books. Don't sit here and watch these stupid, every once in a while, maybe some person has an informative video on YouTube. I think there's this one guy, he made this 3-hour video. It's called Money Masters. It was very, very informative. But he's talking about how, the whole fiat currency, and how it developed and all this type of stuff, and the development of the Federal Reserve. And but all of this stuff was taken from books. That's what the stuff, if I'm going to listen to a person, it has to be very, very, very informative. It can't be just a person I think that they're doing this, and oh my God, and lizard people, and what was Daniel saying? You're going to be living in pods and eating the bugs. It's come on, man. You're tripping, akhi. This is because of what? Because he spends too much time on BitChute. So, BitChute. BitChute is one of those sites where all the conspiracy theorists that got banned on YouTube, they go and put their, so you can literally watch videos on BitChute and then listen to Daniel and be like, oh, I see where he's getting it from now. So Allah musta'an, but this stuff is entertainment. You want real information, you get it from books. Well, I said, you make a decision not based on prior programming that you got from school or that you got from TV, but you go and you make your decisions based on you looking at evidence and looking and saying, okay, this is the evidence that the earth is round. This is the evidence that the earth is flat. And I'm going to make my decision based on what? Based on what I feel is the truest based on what we see. And when you look at the evidence, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be like, whoa, well, maybe it's not as, black and white as I thought it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody just thinks like, no, the world is round, and if you think that it's not round, you're a complete idiot. Go look at their evidence. But I advise the people to do that with all these issues, not just the issues of this. I mean, this is an issue that you'll never know the truth of. You never know the truth of until you die. When you die and if you are one of the people that the Sama is open for because Allah is giving you forgiveness and you get to go through all the different stuff, you're gonna see what the earth is. But other than that, when are you gonna see it?
You say, was it?
But I will tell you this much: kuffar are liars. And so I don't believe anything that they say either. So all this garbage from NASA, oh, these are photos from space. They've never been to space. They've never been to the moon. They can sit here and tell all these lies day in and day out. They're not leaving. We're right now. What did the Prophet ﷺ say about the dunya? As a sijn, right? He said it. And this is a prison. And this was, Adam alayhi salam was sent down. This is a punishment. You're not getting out of this dunya. You're not getting out of here until you die. And even on Yawm al-Qiyamah, where are we going to be raised up on the Day of Judgment? No, we're right here.
Allah said,
it's not going to be on the same shakl, because all of the mountains, and even the Prophet ﷺ said, it's going to be like a tabaqatun wahida. It's going to be like a flat plate, because everything, and he said tabaqa, so for the people, he didn't say qura, he said what? Tabaqa. So it's going to be like a flat plate, because all the mountains and everything is going to be completely gone. So it's going to be the same earth. You're coming out your graves. Where are you going to? You'll be right here on this earth, but it's not going to be the earth that you know, because everything is gone. So that's the tafsir of the ayah. If you go back and you read the tafsir of it, huh?
يعني تفضلنا عن الكواكب يعني يعني زي الماء ويعني
ايش هو؟
يعني كل الكواكب يعني زي فوق الماء.
كيف فوق الماء؟
يعني كما حديث الخطب.
No, الكواكب no عرش الرحمن فوق الماء.
يعني نحن وين؟
وكان عرشه على الماء.
ها؟
يعني الكواكب وين؟
الكواكب في السماء. But they're في السماء الدنيا. All the stuff that you see, the sun and the moon, is all within the Sama' dunya. Nobody's leaving this Sama'. So like whatever you see, the sun, the moon, the stars, all is within the Sama' dunya. It's all within this stratosphere or whatever the sphere they call it, But you don't go. Nobody's leaving this part of the dunya. Even the Prophet ﷺ, when he went during the Mi'raj, did he just go straight up? No, there's doors in each sama. So when you get to the door of the sama ad-dunya, before you can leave it, Jibril, he said, man anta? He said, Jibril. وَمَنْ مَعَكُمْ Muhammad. فَقَالَ هَلْ أُرْسِلَ إِلَيْكَ قَالَ نَعْمْ قَالَ أُرْسِلَ إِلَيْكَ. He had to get permission to go into the sama, to go from the sama ad-dunya to the first sama. He had to get permission. So it's not like some kafir is just going to get up in some spaceship. Come on, man. What type of cartoons? This is the Jetsons or something? Seriously, this is the problem, because people watch too many cartoons and they believe this garbage, Yeah, I mean, you might as well go up to the mountains thinking that you're going to meet Yogi the Bear or something. I mean, you go think that too and see what happens to you. Nah, he had to get permission to go past the Sama' dunya into the Sama' the first Sama'. Out of the Sama' dunya. So how do you think these kafirs going to go up in some rocket ship? Spaceman, come on, man, please. If y'all believe that, then khalas, man. I got a lot of garbage I can sell y'all if y'all believe that type of stuff, man. Seriously.
Ibn Qutayba, wasn't he the one that was like very, very fierce on the idea that the earth is flat?
No, it was Qahtani.
Qahtani? Oh, okay.
A lot of the ulama from before, but but that doesn't, like I said, that's nothing that the people can prove right now. There's how are you going to prove that right now? So the only way that you can prove it, you got to go way up and to see the whole earth as it is. You can't do that because you're not going to be able to go up that high. From here to the end of the Sama' dunya, how many hundreds of thousands of miles is it? Like 200,000 miles. It's not that high. They've shot in rockets up to the top of the Sama' dunya. They know how high it is. It's not that high. It's not like, but I mean, okay, 200,000 miles, that's high. If you look at like a plane goes like 30 to 40,000, and then in the top, like those U-2 spy planes, they go up to like 80,000 to maybe 100,000 feet. So like this, the end of the Sama' Dunya, you know, is like another 150,000, let's say, miles. Khalas, I mean, that's it, you know. They know, I mean, but so I mean, how if you go up 250,000 miles, you are not going to be able to see the whole Earth. So how would you know if it's round, if it's flat, or if it's anything? You know, so people have sent rockets up. You can go see these videos all throughout social media where people made homemade rockets with a camera and send it all the way up. You barely see anything. You can see just that land where the rocket was sent from and the ocean. That's it. This land, the land is too big, and they still couldn't even make an assessment. So I mean, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. Akhi. It's not gonna change your, you know, it's not getting you closer to Allah. And it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not making you more righteous, whether you have the answer or you don't have the answer. So, I mean, it's better, but I mean, like I said, you know, if you do, whatever you do believe, make sure you believe it because of evidence, akhi, not because some garbage, some crackhead teacher taught you in elementary school. Akhi, because if you believe that type of stuff, you might as well believe that what? And SpongeBob was righteous and he came to teach you the truth too, you know, Allah Musta'an.
This one says, Ustad, can I listen to this? Can I listen to students of knowledge who promote Sheikh Muhammad al-Imam?
Anybody that promotes Muhammad, anybody that promotes Muhammad al-Imam after all the stuff that they know that he's done, and I mean, subhanAllah, I wouldn't advise anybody to listen to him. Wish my father.
This one says, Assalamu alaikum.
وتعاهد مع الحوثي من زمان. Like 2010, akhi, 2010. So before the Houthis were even a threat, akhi, before the Houthis captured, this is in 2010, and he started praising the Houthis and saying they're our brothers, and you know, and then you know started saying that the people that were fighting against the Houthis, you know, not us, not me, but the brothers, you know, in Damaj, and that they're terrorists, and that they're, you know, that this is not permissible. What they're doing is not the J word and this type of stuff. So this is this.
Oh,
The J word. What else?
this is talking about a hadith. Let me see this thing. The third testing.
What does that last part say? ألا أخبركم برجالكم في الجنة كنا بلى يا رسول الله قال النبي في الجنة. What is that? I don't know.
I think you just sent like a narration, but you didn't really. Like,
I don't know what is it, like ألا أخبركم برجالكم في الجنة, and then what's that? النبي في الجنة. I mean, where's the rest of that? That definitely can't be the hadith. Because he said برجالكم, so why did he say النبي في الجنة? What is? I don't know.
Is it shirk of desires, which is a minor form of shirk to enjoy and yearn to look at haram images and videos? Is this regarded as taking one's desires as a god? For example, someone is heavily addicted to pornography.
If you put your desires over the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you've taken your desires as a, you know, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he said, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. So I mean, as a person has knowledge and he knows that this is haram, and he knows, but you know, well, the tafsir of this ayah, it goes in two different ways, right? So some of the people say that the first part of the ayah, you know, have you not seen the person who takes his desires? That's fireworks.
Because I've seen it.
Oh, you saw it, okay? Because I was about to say that could have been like a high powered, like 30-30 or something like. But so he said, if you're not seeing the person who takes his desires as a god besides Allah to be worshipped, but it is a worship of his desires, and not that he's making sujood to his desires, not that he's like, you know, making isti'ana with his desires, or he's making istighath with his desires. The shirk here is the shirk of what? Of obedience, that he's obeying his desires over the obedience. So he's going to disobey Allah and obey his desires. وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. So what is the meaning of this ayah? It's two. The Mufassirun, they gave two meanings of the ayah. What?
That sins take away from ilm. It's not.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls them to be misguided. أَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ الَّذِي Allah عِنْدَهُ. That he knows this person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left him to himself to destroy himself, and then he became misguided because of prior knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had about him. And the other understanding of the ayah, وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ, that Allah allowed the knowledge to come to him, but he still chose his desires over the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after knowledge has come to him. So either one of those meanings, and they can both be correct. You know, it's not a good category of person to be in. Regardless, if you fall into this category, that whatever, that's not a good category to fall into. Either meaning of the tafsir. You know, so it's just, you disobey your desires in the obedience to Allah,
Just to clarify, it's already 10:05, so I think you wanna.
Yeah, let's read one hadith, at least from Bulugh al-Maram.
No more questions.
For now, if there's something important and you see something important,
Yeah, this is one that
we'll save it for after the hadith, inshallah. Alright, so we're on hadith, we're still in Bab Ashrat al-Nisa, which is the how to act with the women. Alright, so yesterday we talked about an issue that I'm not going to repeat. So, khalas, if you were here, you were here. If not, then you can go back and watch the episode from yesterday. Alright, so we're on hadith number 1015 in Dar es-Salaam's print. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يؤذي جاره واستوصوا بالنساء خيرا فإنهن خلقن من ضلع وأن أعوج شيء في الضلع أعلاه فإن ذهبت تقيمه كسرته وإن تركته لم يزل أعوج فاستوصوا بالنساء خيرا متفق عليه ولفظ للبخاري ولمسلم فإن استمتعت بها عوج وإن ذهبت تقيمها كسرتها وكسرها طلاقها. Alright, so here Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, he reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever believes in Allah in the last days, then he should not what? He should not cause any harm to his neighbor. Alright, should not cause any harm to his neighbor. Alright, so that shows that what? The rights of the neighbor are what? And causing any harm to the neighbor, that it is from the major sins. And why is that a major sin? How do we understand from this hadith that it's a major sin? Yeah, because Allah here the Prophet ﷺ iman, and whether or not you have the iman or you don't have the iman. So because of that means that if you cause harm to your neighbor, that this is from the major sins. Now, does that mean that the neighbor has to be Muslim? There's a neighbor. What about a neighbor who's not a Muslim? What if he's a kafir? What if he's a mushrik? Does he get the same rights? So you can cause harm to a neighbor who's a mushrik? No, you can't. They still have rights rights over you as a neighbor. As a neighbor, it doesn't matter if your neighbor is like my neighbors over there playing Mexican salsa music all weekend long, drinking khamr and dancing and yelling and screaming with microphones. It doesn't matter. We're not going to cause any harm to them. Whatever harm they cause to us, alhamdulillah, we take our rights on the day of judgment from these kuffar, but we don't cause them any harm, because the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't specify. He said, لا يؤمن من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يؤذي جاره. He didn't say جاره المسلم or جاره المؤمن. He didn't specify. So the fact that it's like mutlaq, it's not muqayyad, so it's just open, all types of the jiran, whether he's a Muslim, whether he's not. So we don't cause harm to any of our neighbors. Even a kafir has a right over us as a neighbor. Alright, so and it's from the major sins because it's tied into iman. And the iman with Allah and iman with the last days, the day of judgment. Then he said, وَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. And what? Now this is, oh God. Now this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Alright, and I want you to focus on what the meaning of this statement of the Prophet ﷺ is. He said, وَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. Alright, you followers of Andrew Tate, do you understand what the meaning of this hadith is? What does it mean?
Be very good to them.
تواصوا بعضكم ببعض بمعاملة حسنة وطيبة وخيرا بنسائكم. To do what? That you will work together and you advise each other to be good to your women. not to act like how what you're seeing the people call to nowadays. Especially we're talking about Muslim women. These are Muslim women that believe in Tawheed. These are Muslim women that, pray 5 times a day, that fast. Are they gonna have mistakes? Oh, what we don't. We don't. So here the Prophet ﷺ is commanding the people to work, to advise each other to be good to the women. That's the understanding. All right, istawsu bin nisa and tawasaw. Just like we see this in the Quran. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah Al-Asr? What?
إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
All right, tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bil sabr. Haqq here is what? It's am. This hadith, istawsu bin nisa'i khayran, is what? Is khas. So does this khas go underneath the am? Yes. So the tawasaw bil haqq, this falls into what? This is a part of that, a part of that tawasaw bil haqq. All right. So, so this is what the people need to understand. It's like we don't advise each other to start treating our women like garbage or looking down on our women because they're making mistakes. You got advice, akhi, advice for Muslims, you advise the Muslims. If you see that the Muslims are lacking in a certain thing, you teach the Muslims. And you're patient with the Muslims. But we don't get out on social media and trash our women and speak bad about our women and try to sit here and take this type of kuffar attitude of how we deal with our women. This is foolish. And this is not what the Prophet ﷺ advised. He advised the people to what? To advise each other in what? With good. Be good with the women. Treat them right. Treat them advise them. Treat them and teach them the deen. Teach them what they need to know so they can be upright. I mean, obviously you got a lot of women out there that are trying to, they're trying to be good. They're trying to but the people are leading them astray. Look at the majority of the masajid. You gotta make excuses for people. You gotta understand there's a difference between a person who's going out and would purposely, we're talking about women that are purposely calling the people to feminism, calling the women to take off their hijabs, calling the women to mix with women. If there's a Muslim woman that's doing that, may Allah disgrace her. But we're talking about just the standard Muslim women that just fall into mistakes. She's trying to be on her deen.
Clarify, tell them that feminism is kufr.
Of course it's kufr.
Because nobody said it for Muslim.
If a Muslim woman calls it feminism, thinking that this is whatever, I mean, because it's kufr, but she might have some type of ta'wil of why she's, or she might be calling to certain aspects of feminism, not the whole.
Wrong understanding.
Yeah, exactly. So she's trying to Islamicize or whatever, these kufr beliefs. I mean, that's a whole different issue. But wallahi, that's not the majority of the women. That's a bunch of misguided souls, that have been educated from these colleges of the kuffar. The same men now that are coming out bashing women are the same men that have been educated from these same colleges. Well, I'm Salaho. It's not just he's not alone in this. So Allah musta'an, akhi. But anyways, فَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا فَإِنَّهُنَّ خُلِقْنَا مِنْ ضِلَعٍ. She was created from the what? From the rib. When the أعوج شيء في الضلع أعلاه, and the most crooked of all the ribs is what? The highest, the أعلى, the highest rib. So فإن ذهبت تقيمه كسرته. If you try to straighten it out, that rib, what happens? You break it. So if you're trying to force the woman to be in a way that she's not, you got to educate her first. You got to advise her first. You can't just sit there and say, be like this, do like. You end up what? You're breaking her. You're breaking her emotionally. You're breaking her psychologically. You're breaking her psyche. There you go. All right. But yeah, so that's not the way we handle things. And that's dhulm. That's oppression. And then you don't know what's going to happen to her after that. So he said, when ذهبت تقيمه, what? كسرته. When تركته, if you leave her, you don't advise her, you don't teach her, you're gonna leave her what? Ala iwaj. She's gonna be awaj, she's gonna be bent, she's gonna be crooked, she's not gonna be on the sirat al-mustaqim. So the Prophet ﷺ is showing you that there has to be a level of hikmah and wisdom use whenever we're dealing with the women, because if you try to push too hard, you destroy her. If you sit back and relax too much, what? You leave her the way she is, and she's not, if she's not upright, then, khalas, she's going to end up teaching your children all types of craziness. So you have to find a middle ground with her. You have to deal with her in a soft manner of advising her, teaching her, and keep, and being patient with her and guiding, and trying, make dua. I mean, you got a wife, make dua that a lot of guys. But I tell you, from all the years that I was married, I tell you, wallahi, the women are more patient with us than we are with them. And I'll tell you this because I know I had treated my wife like I was like that. I was rough. And I'm saying when I was younger, when I first got married, I was that person. Like, you gotta do this, and just like, but it doesn't work like that. As you grow older and you start to see like how things work. And then what you try to do is you try to advise the people. You try to say like, look, akhi, this is not the way to go. But akhi, the people don't want to listen. You got to use wisdom. And, if you're not learning from your mistakes, then we're all going to make mistakes. But if you're not learning from them, you're an idiot. Because what's the benefit of you making mistakes if you're not learning from them? And you keep going back. Like, you see dudes that get married, and then the woman's not acting the way that he wants her to act, and he does this, and the marriage goes to garbage, it goes to shambles. So he divorces her. Then he gets married again, goes through the same experience again. Divorce. Then he gets married a third time, goes through the same stuff again. And he never wakes up to think that maybe he's the problem. It's got to be the woman. Oh, it's because of the education. Oh, it's because of this. Maybe it's your sins, Akhi. Maybe your sins, you keep getting a woman who's not obeying you. And because you're not obedient to Allah, and that's what I didn't look at. I said, but then I started to wake up later on. I was like, the reason why I'm going through all the stuff that I'm going through is because of what? I'm not right with Allah. I'm falling into all these sins. So now you start to see the problems come to you. Accept that it's you got to take accountability, man. And that's the problem that you just, all these dudes talking about manliness and manly. Yeah, if you were a real man, guess what? You wouldn't have to get out on social media and express that 50 times a day, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week. You wouldn't have to sit here and like express, how manly you are. You would show you through your actions and through your accountability. You would be a man. You don't have to talk about it. See, now this has become the new thing now. Because what is social media about? Social media is about people getting on the thing and doing what?
Preaching without getting.
Exactly, talking, but there's no action in their life. This is what social media, this is what gets you famous. Talking, being a talker, being a talking head on social media with no action. So a bunch of dudes sitting around talking about what a real man is, but he doesn't even know because he's never been a real man one day in his life. He's never taken accountability because he sat his whole life blaming this and blaming that and blaming this, and he's a victim. What type of man is a victim? What type of man sits there and blames women for every single problem that we have in society? If we're the men, then the women are wrong. Whose fault is that? It's the man's. الرجال قوامون على النساء. So if we're the قوامون على النساء, then how are they not? You know what I'm saying? If they're underneath us, and we have the bigger influence, and we're supposed to be the ones that are in control, and they're not acting right. What does that say about us? So who needs to take accountability? Who needs to sit there and like look and see like, okay, this is our fault. We're the ones that allowed this to happen. Now, instead of sitting here getting on social media, running our mouths about, oh, the women are doing this to women, you're acting like a woman now. This is what women do. They sit there and like, cluck about this person doing this, but now you're doing it. And you're not coming up with no solutions. A man, he sees a problem and he finds a solution to the problem and he starts working on the solution. He doesn't need to talk. Find the solution, work on the solution. That's man. That's a man. Women get on, women talk. They get on social media and do all this, what do you call this, like gossip and all this type of stuff. Actually, this ain't for no man. A man gonna sit there and have a live stream and all he's gonna do is blame women and talk bad about women. Actually, man, you are a woman. Huh? So he said, وَإِن تَرَكْتَهُ لَمْ يَزَلْ عَوَجْ فَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. And then he repeated the advice to the people again, فَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. And what do we say this means? فَاسْتَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا.
Are you asking me?
Both of y'all.
Oh, like to advise one another, treating women good.
Yeah. All right. And he said, so this hadith is muttafaqun alayh, and this is the wording of Bukhari. And then he mentioned another wording in the Sahih Muslim. He said, "Istamta'ta biha." So if you relax and enjoy yourself with her, like you left her the way she is. You didn't try to work. You know, you accepted her, like you know how these kuffar always say, you just need to accept me how I am. So if you accept her the way she is, without trying to advise her and teach her, and and try to get her to act upright, he said, "Biha istamta'ta biha, biha wa biha aywaj." You're going to relax with her and enjoy your time with her, and she's what? She's still got that crookedness because she's still bent. She's not, you haven't straightened it out. You haven't given her advice. You haven't taught her. So she's not acting upright. When the taqimuha, and if you go to try to straighten her out, like by force and like with an aggressive manner, kasarataha, you break her. Wa kasruha talaquha, and he said, and breaking her is divorcing her. Is like causing the divorce, because once you've destroyed her emotionally, how you gonna live with a person now? I mean, how can she live with you and how can you live with her? Marriage is done. It's over. And any more questions? Anything important before we go?
Someone asked, who do you recommend to take knowledge from? I'm assuming he means like in person in Texas. I think he said Texas.
In Texas, I don't know.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas.
In Houston, Texas, I can tell you who not to take knowledge from. But I mean, that dude doesn't teach in Houston, Texas. I don't know anybody in Houston, Texas.
He doesn't even pray in the masjid.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I heard. I heard he doesn't pray in the masjid, even Jumu'ah. So I don't know.
Even Jumu'ah.
That's what I heard. I don't know. Nobody knows him in that community. Nobody knows him in Houston, Texas. He's not known in the masjid. He just sits up in his house and makes videos and searches the internet all day long. So that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. Allah Mustaan. Houston, Texas, I don't know anybody. You need to ask Sajid. Sajid, he goes back and forth to Houston.
I think it was Sajid. He's very hard to communicate. Like if you don't know him personally, like you, it's very hard to communicate. Because even in the past, I tried to direct message him, he just doesn't answer.
Because I don't know anybody. Because I don't pay attention to what's going on in America. Honestly, not that I don't pay attention to what's going on in America. But people send me stuff and I look at it. So if people send me for example this clip that Daniel, I'm not gonna sit there and follow up with what Daniel's saying. I got number one, listening to him talk for 2 minutes, it causes me nausea. I want to throw up. So it's just, I can't listen to him talk. But if somebody sends me something, then I feel like, okay, I got to listen to it because it might be something that's causing issues with the people. Why did they send it to me? Other than that, I don't know who's doing what. I know the brothers from Damaj, and that's all. I mean, you got Munder in Oakland, and you got Abdul Hakim in Michigan, and Hamtramck. Those are the brothers I know, And I think Naeem, the brother Naeem, is somewhere. I don't know if he's in Philly or Chester or whatever. He's outside of Philly, but I mean, those are the brothers that I know. Those are the brothers I studied in Damaj with. Everybody else, I don't know. You got to, But I mean, you find a person that calls to the Sunnah, and not just calling to the Sunnah, but calling to the Sunnah with the correct understanding, going back to the understanding of the Salaf. That's where you take knowledge from. That's where you take knowledge from. You don't take knowledge from the people that give you their understanding. These are the people that sat in the books and they go back and they really wanted to understand the deen, the way that the Salaf understood the deen and the way that they taught the deen. Because this is what the Prophet ﷺ called the people to. That's what we follow. And you find a person giving knowledge like that, that's where you take knowledge from. But these people that call into all these organizations and groups and the Ahzab and all this stuff, we ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time for that, man. It's better to be alone. وإلهنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Safe. The adhan. No?
Stop that first.
All right, YouTube. Any questions, check from the website.